What's up everybody, Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Overwatch video. And in this video, I'm going to be teaching you the easy ways to climb to Diamond. So do yourself a favor and watch this video until the end if you want to go to Diamond and beyond. Now, the first tip that I'm going to give you, the easy way to climb to Diamond, and I know you're going to meme this in the comments down below, like, oh, just have friends, okay, nice one, Coach Mills. But realistically, I know all of you complain in your games, like, maybe you're a DPS player and you're like, hey, I hate my tank, what the heck, they suck and they throw my games, or hey, I have a support that won't heal me, they won't enable me, whatever. Well, here's the thing, just trio queue. Surprise, surprise, not too hard of a concept, but here's the important thing. Trio queue all three of the roles. One of you tank, one of you DPS, and one of you support. And I'm not saying find someone and put them on one of these three roles. I'm saying find a tank main, find a DPS main, and find a support main that all want to try. And there's tons of different places that you can find a like-minded individual just like yourself trying to climb the ranks. And then every single one of you can do your best to try to improve, try to help each other, and enable each other. And I promise you, if you have a three-man team of a tank, a DPS, and a support all doing their job and helping each other, you're going to have so much impact in your games. You're simply going to be able to dominate while feeling everything that your team possibly needs. Because realistically, even if your other three members suck, at least you'll have some damage, you'll have space, you'll have consistent heals. It doesn't matter what the other three people are doing realistically. As long as you have some sort of teamwork, your team is going to contribute a little bit to the team fight. You're going to be able to carry so many games together. You're going to build up synergy. You're going to become a better player. And you need to make sure that you consistently are comboing ultimates with each other or trying to set up abilities with each other. Then you're going to win tons of team fight just based on the back of y'all's synergy. Now moving on to the second easy way to climb to Diamond. And this is a kind of two-parter, but it's abuse the thing that people lack at your rank or in your game. And you got to understand that the game of Overwatch, there's always three big things that people have. They have mechanics, game sense, or positioning. Those are the three building blocks of Overwatch, and people have different amounts of every one of these. But if someone is lacking in one of these concepts, you could really take advantage of that. Like if someone has really bad mechanics, for example, and you notice this, push them over and over and over again. Even if you are disadvantaged, if they have poor mechanical skill, they miss their sleep darts under pressure. They keep losing duels to you even though they counter you, or whatever the case may be, just push them really easily. Or maybe you realize that the enemy has really poor game sense. They are standing way too far out after their team died, and if you and your teammates push up, you can snowball them because they don't understand that you as a team could snowball them and they could be throwing the team fight by being pushed up too much. That is something that you can take advantage of, the game sense and even positioning. Or maybe if there's an Ana that's going too aggressive to do these nades, she does it over and over and over again, and you see her on the right side, you wait for her, you hide for her, the second she tries to go up for it, you whip around the corner and you kill her. That's the way that you abuse her positioning. And that's something that you could do either in your rank or even in your game. And if you can identify that and learn how to execute it in game, you're going to be able to abuse players all over the place and get a leg up, either getting free picks or just shutting them down throughout the entire course of the game. And they're going to get frustrated and triggered, but you're going to be climbing in the end. Now moving on to the third tip for easy Diamond, and this one's incredibly underrated, and I don't think enough people do this, and it's be more aggressive. You see, a lot of players, they have problems with dealing under pressure, right? A whole bunch of people swarm you, and you're a McCree, and you're like freaking out. You don't know what to shoot, you don't know what to stun. You stun one thing, you miss a whole bunch of other things. Or maybe you're an Ana, and a whole bunch of people jump you, and you just panic so much that you miss your sleep dart, or whatever. You're having a hard time dealing under pressure. And the thing is, everyone has a hard time dealing under pressure. That takes a lot of getting used to. It is very difficult, and usually, if you're really calm and collected under pressure, you are already high rank. You are cool, collected, calm, you're MO7, chilling in the back line, killing a far from across the map, sleep darting the Doomfist that's diving him, nading his teammates. He has it all. But for us mortals, pretty much all of us, we can't feel that way. So the tip I'm going to give you is, instead of being the passive one, instead of being the one that gets dove on, instead of being the one that has to respond to the enemy, be more aggressive. No matter what role you are, be more aggressive. Because the thing is, aggression actually gives you more margin for error. And you might be like, what the heck does that mean? Well, what I mean is, you get the benefit when you're aggressive of getting first contact, of making the enemy respond to you, and making the enemies respond to you correctly. Because let's say you're McCree, right? And you run up to an enemy, and you just run at that enemy, and you start shooting at them right away. Well, let's say that enemy's an Ana. Well, now all of a sudden, she's being fired at. She's already at half HP, so there's extra pressure on her. And yes, maybe because you're a psychopath, if she would just look at you and sleep you, she could. But she is freaking out. She has that anxiety. She has that pressure that we talked about before. So that aggression gives you an advantage. And a lot of people will just be waiting around, looking around. They'll be looking here, looking there, like, oh, where's the Doomfist? Oh, where's this? They take a little bit of damage and they freak out. That is what you can abuse, and that is definitely the thing that you should be doing if you don't know what to do. If you are at a loss, or if you are scared of an enemy making an action, make the first action, be more aggressive, and you're going to win tons of games. I see it very, very infrequently that people are losing games because they're too aggressive. In fact, I've never seen it, and I've VOD probably maybe 200 plus people. I've never once seen an under diamond player have an entire playstyle based on being too aggressive and losing because of it. Most of the time, they're way too passive and they don't take advantage of the mistakes by the enemy because they're too passive. Now, the next tip I got for you is a really important one, and it's going to happen in your game, so you're going to have one person that they're going to have a bad game. They might be just playing bad, or they might be boosted, they might be terrible. I don't know what the case may be, but they're getting farmed again and again and again. And as they get more farmed, they get more tilted. And as they get more tilted, they play worse, and it's just a vicious cycle, right? What you have to do is you have to either protect or enable your weak link. Think of it like a water leak, right? If the water leak is open a little bit and you don't patch it up, it will just keep pouring and the hole will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden your whole house is flooded, right? But if you go there and you patch it up and you keep it together long enough, that can be a way that you stop the flow. Because realistically, this one person could just feed so much that he creates so much opportunity for the enemy, especially if they're a vital member of the team. And often, in the protection or the enabling of that weak link, they will start to play better just by you enabling them. The enemies will stop going for them as much because they know that you have this person's back. You're like their bodyguard. You're like that person that's always with them, making sure that they are safe. This is an unfortunate reality of ranked, but you're going to have these people that have these bad games or are just not that good, and this is the most important tip for those games if you still want to win them and give yourself the best chance of climbing to diamond. Now moving on to tip number 5, and this is a really, really good one for basically getting a lot of free kills, and it's just hard focus the character that you counter. And this seems pretty obvious, but it doesn't happen as often as you think. If you have a character that you counter, there is no reason, and I mean absolutely no reason, that you don't abuse them over and over and over again repeatedly. Make that person the weak link of the enemy team, except they're not going to have someone like you to protect them. And that means if the enemy has a Zen, punish them for playing Zen. You pick Tracer, they're on Zen, and you're like, how dare you pick Zen against me? How dare you pick that Omnic? I'm going to farm you, I'm going to spawn camp you, I'm going to post bomb you, I'm going to abuse the heck out of you for the rest of the game. Until they swap, you're going to abuse them. Maybe the enemy is playing a Hammond and you're Sombra. Hack them. And hack them again. And hack them again. And they're going to ult and you're going to EMP it. And you're just going to abuse them over and over and over again. And they're going to keep giving you free fights until they freaking swap. And if they don't know how to play that many characters, they're going to be screwed. Hard focus whatever character you counter the most. Take advantage of the fact that you have an advantaged matchup. That is something that you should do. Don't ignore them. Don't hack them one time. Don't destroy that Zen one time. Destroy him over and over and over again. That is the secret. Abuse what you can consistently. Make sure to take advantage of your favorable matchup. Make them the weak link, and you are going to have that numbers advantage of that pick, and you're going to win fight after fight, which means you're going to win the game, which means you're going to climb straight to diamond, which means you're going to DM me saying, thanks, Coach Mills, and I'm going to be like, heck yeah, let's go, or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, moving on to the next tip. This one's another reality of rank that's going to happen, and it's going to be do your teammates' job for them plus more. And you might be asking, okay, what the heck is this tip? And this is just doing the job that someone on your team should be doing instead. Now, the most common one is contesting the other enemy DPS. This one happens a lot where maybe the enemy has a Widowmaker and your Widowmaker just can't hit a shot. Or maybe the enemy has a Doomfist and your McCree cannot win the 1v1 to save his life. Whatever the case may be, you need to be doing his job for him. And if that means swapping to something that counters the heroes that you're talking about, that is what you have to do. Because the sad truth about ranked is you can't rely on anyone. You can't trust anyone. No one is going to do their job correctly 90% of the time, because if they could, they would not be in your rank. They would be higher. If you want those good teammates, you have to go above and beyond until you get to the rank where those good teammates exist. This is the most important philosophy I teach on this channel, and it's so important for you to understand. If there is a Widowmaker that is dominating yours, swap to something like Wrecking Ball. Farm that Widow, make that Widow swap, because if your Widow can't win the duel and you let that state go on, you let your bad Widowmaker go up against their better Widowmaker over and over and over again. It doesn't matter if you're holding up your shield on the front line. It doesn't matter if you are playing Zari and zapping people on the front line. It doesn't matter what you're doing if your Widow is getting sniped again and again and again and again. Is that game winnable? No. But if you swap it up and you play a Wrecking Ball and you shut down their Widow and that enemy's like a Widow one-trick and they swap to something like McCree, but then McCree sucks, then all of a sudden you have a chance of winning that game, when otherwise it was impossible to win. And that's something that is so important for you to get down. Do your teammates' job for them, and you're going to win so many more games. Now moving on to tip number 7. This is the number 1 mistake that is keeping you at your rank, and this is putting in real practice into getting better mechanics. The thing you need to understand is, at the end of the day, this game is a very mechanically demanding game. In fact, Overwatch players have some of the highest level of mechanics out of any game in the entire world of games. You need to be putting concrete effort into improving your mechanical skill. And if you're playing a specific hero, practice the mechanical capacity of that hero, and also practice the ultimate capacity of that hero. Whether that means going into the practice room and just practicing 1,000 pulse bombs in a day, or it just means hitting consistent headshots on Widow, or it just means practicing hitting hooks in one of those custom games where bodies are like flying all over the place and you have to hook them. Whatever the case may be, practice the mechanical capacities of your hero. Make sure your aim is better, make sure your ability use is better, and you will get that competitive edge. Because if you were up against an enemy Roadhog and you're hitting more hooks, you're getting more damage in, you're doing more valuable things mechanically, you're going to win that game and you're going to have more impact than that other Hog. And the Hog at 2,700, you got to be doing more than the Hogs at 2,700 if you're Hog. You got to be doing more than the Widowmakers at 2,000 if you want to go past 2,000. This is true across the board, and this is how you truly climb. Make sure that you put some effort in your mechanical skill. It just could be the biggest thing holding you back. I know it was my big thing holding me back. When I was hard stuck diamond, I just had garbage mechanical skill. I didn't even know it. But once I started grinding my mechanical skill, I realized that all the game sense stuff that I knew and that I was teaching myself through just studying and studying and studying, I couldn't convert on because mechanics sucked. I just really couldn't convert on it. So make sure that you put in the time and effort into practicing your mechanical skill. Please, please, please. Now moving on to the last tip that I got for you. If you want easy diamond, and this is a pretty nice one, it's just abuse map dependent strategies and heroes. There are some maps that you can play a hero that takes pretty much no skill to play, but you can just shut down an enemy. Let's say you're playing Hanamura first defense. You know what's really great there? Mei. Wall off a choke when Orion walks through, get a free kill. You probably can win multiple team fights just off of that. Your team's going to build up so many ultimates, and then you're going to win more team fights off of those ultimates. It's a pretty good strategy. Think about Temple of Anubis first defense. Just play Junkrat, spam them. They cannot go right, and if they try to go right, you're going to kill them. If they try to go upward, just mine up vertically and just spam them down as they try to go top left. Wherever they go, Junkrat is insanely strong. Think about a map like Junkertown. Playing Widow and playing the extremely long sightlines on defense, you can get so much damn value if you put in even a little bit of time practicing your Widow v Widow mechanical skill. If they're not ready for that, if they haven't warmed up the way you have, you're going to be able to shut down their Widow. You're going to be able to dominate the entire game. Play map abusive strategies. There are a bunch of them, whether that's playing Badgen on the cart, whether that means playing Mei on defense. I don't care what you have to do. Get those free wins in the bag, because we all know that there are some games that just are unwinnable, right? The enemy has a smurf, the person on your team leaves, whatever the case may be, you're just going to be thrown like a bag of games that are just unwinnable. So take any free win when you can get it, abuse these strategies, get a free win here and there, so then the games that you actually have to try really, really difficult on, you can push through those games instead of just working hard for every single one of your wins and then just losing all these games for free. That just doesn't seem that fair. Thanks so much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the video. That's all I got for you today. I'm Coach Mills, and of course, until next time,